हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही? Hello everyone and assalamu alaikum. I hope that everyone is able to hear me. I don't know कितने लोगों ने join किया हुआ है, but for those who have, if you could please just say hi in the chat so I know that you're here and you're listening. Okay, so I see that people are active, so we will be starting with the introduction. So, welcome everyone to the Entrepreneurs Launchpad. I'm so happy to see you all over here. So, let's begin with the orientation. अच्छा, so before going over to the boot camp, what it's going to be all about, पहले मैं अपना introduction में थोड़ा सा दे देती हूँ. So I'm Bisma Sayed. I'm the HR director at the Skill Hive. I am also a business student. So for me, the whole vision and the whole thinking behind the Skill Hive, the message, the vision, is all very personal to me. And to see an entrepreneur's launchpad here to encourage all of you young people to take that first step to see where you can go from here. That's really good. And I'm glad that you guys get to be a part of this and that I get to be a part of this. So we will begin. I will be discussing a little bit about what the Entrepreneurs Launchpad is all about. हमारे bootcamp में क्या क्या होगा, what activities we'll be doing. I will be introducing the trainers to you guys as well. So let's begin. अच्छा, so अब boot camp है क्या and आपको क्यों join करना चाहिए? So it's basically a series where we're trying to encourage young people कि आपको ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ें चाहिए होती हैं if you're trying to get into entrepreneurship, and what are the sort of skills that you would need to be skilled and to be a good entrepreneur. What are the things you would have to be mindful of? So now that you guys are here, and अगर किसी को अभी भी कोई शक है या कुछ है कि पता नहीं हमें वाकई ये join करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए, if it's actually going to be worth it, so this is your stepping stone. ठीक है, this is where because I'm sure that all of you are coming from various different fields, and that's great because आप जहाँ से भी आ रहे हो, आप एक different information set, एक different skill set लेके आ रहे हो. You have your own knowledge to share, and यहाँ पे you're going to be meeting a lot of different people from various different backgrounds, and this is a platform that's going to give you that space to really innovate, to really think outside of the box, to think कि आप ऐसी क्या नई चीज़ कर सकते हो, आप क्या नया ला सकते हो. And you get to connect with different people, you get to network with them, you get to make connections that are going to last your lifetime. So I think that this is definitely going to be a really good opportunity for all of you over here to learn कि आप किस तरीके से जो है अपने आगे करियर को लेके जा सकते हो, and how you can start your own personal ventures. So this is a really exciting opportunity, and I'm glad that everyone has joined in, and I really hope that all of you will have a really good time over here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the trainers that we have on board and who will be conducting the different workshops that we have planned for you guys. So, sabse pehle, we have got Hamad Abdul Ghaffar, who is the founder and CEO of the Skill Hive. Now, this person, I'm telling you, he is so talented and he has so much experience in like a very young age. And आप लोगों को directly interact करने का मौका मिलेगा, which is a really good opportunity for you all. जो भी खुद अपना कोई venture start करना चाहते, if you have an idea and you're thinking कि how do I make this a reality, how do I take this forward. So हमाद का भी vision था कि उसने the Skill Hive start करना है. अब for a lot of young people, oftentimes क्या होता है, it's just a thought for them, right? वो आती है, वो गुजर जाती है, आपको समझ नहीं आता कि आप start किस तरीके से करो, आपको कौन से पहले steps लेने चाहिए, how do you get a team on board that's going to help you really make that a reality. So Hamad here, he has had a lot of different experiences. He has extensive experience in different fields. उसने पहले अपनी NGO start की, ठीक है? He started it back in 2021 to help the underprivileged. And then he has successfully delivered over 8 projects. So he has got a lot of experience in project management, strategic planning, and creative design. So with him over here, this is probably like the best start that you people can have. He has got insights about entrepreneurship and how you can start thinking strategically, how you can think that what are the different steps you need, what are the things you need to be mindful of, how do you take that first step and make that bold decisions and actually make that vision a reality. So it would really help you guys bring that change that you want to bring and make that idea a reality, because that's what the entrepreneurs launchpad is all about. It is about you guys being able to take that one, it's a very, you don't have to like think grand. It could be like a really small thing, a really small change that you want to make. And this platform will allow you to make that into something that's tangible, something that's can actually create a larger impact. So that's our first instructor who will be conducting the first and second workshop. I will be moving forward, but I would also appreciate, guys, if you could be a little more active on the chat, just so I know that everyone is here. And if you have any questions at any point, please feel free to ask. I would love to answer them. Moving forward. So our second instructor who will be conducting this third and fourth workshop is Laiba Rizwan. Now, Laiba is again someone who has a large experience. She has been, in different startups. She has her own NGO. So she is someone who has got a lot to offer. Now, Abhi jo hai na, she's doing her clinical psychology, and while doing that, she is also the marketing director for 2 startups and a sales manager, as well as a private tutor. So she has got a lot of different things going on for her. And managing all those many things while being a full-time student, that's a huge, huge deal. And I'm sure like a lot of you over here, you're all students as well. And a lot of times it is a struggle कि हम अपनी पढ़ाई को भी ठीक लेके चलें हैं, उसके साथ साथ हम अपने personal endeavors भी कर रहे हों. It can get quite a lot at times to handle. I'm a student myself, so I know that managing work, managing your passion alongside your studies, it gets a bit hectic. But Laiba is someone who does it all, and she does it really, really well. Like she is at the Skill Hive, and then she is at another startup as well. And if you ask her team, you will know just how punctual she is, just how much she is there to guide people at every step of the way. So she has got all this experience in marketing. She is the marketing director here at the Skill Hive as well. So all the different campaigns you see on the Skill Hive social media platform, the campaign preceding the Launchpad as well, the bootcamp as well, all of this, she was the visionary behind it. So she also has like a lot. She's becoming a psychologist, so she obviously has got like a lot of innate empathy as well, and you see that in the way she has led her NGO as well. And being able to work with Laiba and hearing her out, वो किस तरीके से सब कुछ manage करती हैं, किस तरीके से she makes sure to get some time out for herself while still being able to make sure that all her goals and all her targets are met. So that is something I think you all will find really enriching, because I think her ability to balance work and her passion for her work and where she wants to see herself in the future, all of that is very much relevant to all of you over here. So that is our third instructor, and I'm sure that you will all really, really enjoy her workshops and everything that she has to teach you all. Let's hear about the next instructor now. So then we've got Muhammad Awais, and he will be conducting the fifth workshop. Now, Awais is a finance professional, and he obviously has got like a lot of knowledge about how the accounting and finance things work, what investment challenges you face as a new startup, what are the different ways that you can raise capital if you're starting a new venture. He has completed his accounting and finance degree from the Institute of Business Management, Karachi, and he has got a lot of extensive experience in different firms. So this is a professional in the industry. He has got years of experience. He knows exactly what goes on behind the scenes, what is needed, what are the things you need to really, really focus on. And then, apart from finance, he has a great interest in global politics and planetary science. So, all these things, it just shows that, all these people, all these professionals, one thing that they all have in common is that they're curious. Okay? They ask questions, they want to know the whys. And that is something that every entrepreneur needs to have. That is perhaps the first thing you need if you want to be an entrepreneur. You need to ask questions. You need to ask why. Why is it that this thing happens this way and not the other way? Or is there a better way we can do this? That is, what keeps you going, what helps you really create a difference that you want to see around you. Okay, so let's talk about our next instructor, who is Satara Khan, who will be conducting the sixth workshop. Okay, so now, Satara has got extensive experience in corporate communication. Now, one thing, let me tell you that communication is perhaps the core, wherever you go. It doesn't matter which profession you're coming from or which profession you want to go to. Communication is something you will always, always need. Um, and if you really want to make it in your career, you need to know how are you going to talk to people, how are you going to present your ideas. You could have a really good idea, but if you don't know how to put it out there, how to explain to the person in front of you, if you cannot convince them or if you cannot persuade them, तो उस idea का कोई फायदा नहीं है. So uh, I myself, I'm doing a BBA degree. So usme jo hai, the first thing they tell you is how important communication is, and they have got multiple communication courses along the way to make sure that we know how to speak, we know how to present our ideas in a way that makes it easy for people to understand, so that they're actually interested and they want to know more about you. So I think this workshop would be really beneficial to everyone, because if you struggle to speak, if you struggle to put your ideas into words properly, this is something that will really help you out. Now, Sitara has got a lot of different experiences. She has led the roles of corporate affairs manager at JDC Foundation. She is a communication specialist at Foundation Public School, head of fundraising committee at Al Furqan. So you see that she has got a wide range of experience that uh, really relates to what it takes to convince stakeholders, to manage stakeholders, what it takes to maintain those corporate relationships, and what are those effective strategies for communication. So this workshop will definitely be beneficial to everyone out there, regardless of which educational background you're coming from. Now, here I would want to ask all of you, if you could possibly share in the comment section in the chat that, what are the degrees that you're pursuing, or if you have already graduated, then what have you graduated in? Um, I think it would just be good for everyone to get to know where the other person is coming from. Maybe you guys even have some common ground. So please feel free to just, send the text on the chat. While we talk about which educational background you guys are coming from, I think if you could also, perhaps mention whether communication is something that that you struggle with, or have you ever struggled with it, and what if you is it something that you're interested in or not. So I see one doctor of pharmacy, and then I see a doctor of physical therapy. That's great. Okay, then there's someone who is doing BBA. So you see, this is a diversity I'm talking about. This is what we need. We need people from different areas. So we've got more people from health sciences. So I think that's great. Okay. Now let's talk about the seventh workshop. This will be done by Mohammed bin Faisal. So जो है ना, one thing that's important for all young entrepreneurs to know is if you have an idea, you know that okay, this is something that could really help. This is something that could really work. But how do you present that? We talked about communication before, but leading up to that, like after once you got basic strategies कि हम किस तरीके से बेहतर communicate कर सकते हैं, then what happens is that now you have got a plan, you have got an idea that this is a business I want to do, this is a startup that I want to create. So how do you pitch that? If you want someone to invest in your business, if you want someone to finance your business, how do you convince them that this is worth it, I am worth it, you should definitely be investing in me? So how to create that perfect pitch, that requires a lot of expertise, and that requires perhaps like a lot of guidance. You could so this workshop will really help you guys out with that. So Muhammad bin Faisal has got a lot of different experiences in running more than 10 businesses and securing half a million Pakistani rupees as seed funding from organizations like Pakistan Beverage Limited, WWF, Harvard, and Angro. So he's got a diverse skill set and a wealth of experience to offer you guys, where he can empower all the aspiring entrepreneurs to really turn their ideas into winning pitches and leave a mark. So अब हम pitches की बात कर रहे हैं. So now that Shark Tank is really popular, I want to know how many of you guys watch it, because that's all it's about. It's about pitching your ideas, and it matters a lot how the sharks perceive you and how they view your pitch. So I would like to know how many of you are following it, and do you have any ideas that and how do you think that you would be able to pitch your idea that well or not? So go off on the live chat, please. Okay, so Amal mentioned that she does struggle with communication and she thinks it's a really important skill to master because, yeah, it definitely affects your work and your relationship with your team as well. Definitely, that's a really good point. And I think going to be really beneficial for you all to learn what are those communication strategies that you should be trying to implement. And then also, the one way that you really learn to improve is like if you struggle with it, the only way that I have learned कि बेहतर किस तरीके से करना है, that is that you put yourself out there. You will be scared the first time, you'll be scared the second time, but third time you're going to be feeling a lot better with it. So that is one way to start, that you start putting yourself out there. And I think all these workshops that we've arranged, it will really help you build that confidence to trust yourself to enough to speak in front of a large group of people. Okay, so let's talk about how do we develop the right mindset and what it takes to brainstorm business ideas. So, this is what the first workshop will be about, which will be conducted by Hamad. And he will be talking about what it takes really to start. Because आप जो हो, a lot of like what a lot of young people do is they get afraid and they don't know how to go about it or how they can really pitch themselves to others or how they can convince other people. And a lot of times we give up too easily because we've got all these doubts. So that's one thing that we will be discussing in the workshops and how you can overcome it possibly. So let's look what's next. So business model basics. So what it takes, how you build a basic business model, how you go about it, what are the things that you need. These are again what we will be discussing in the workshops. Okay. I don't know if there are more responses on the chat. I'll just go there and see. Okay, so I see a lot of people are tuning into the Shark Tank, which I think is great because if you people are interested in entrepreneurship, I think that's um, a good way to learn about how people started and where they want to go in the future as well. So Amal says that she has not yet mastered the skill of pitching ideas, and that's completely understandable. And I think that is something that you will definitely get to learn at the Entrepreneurs Launchpad. So I don't think you should worry about it. Um, but it's great that you're all interested and that you have. I see that if you've tuned into Shark Tank, you have had different ideas at different points in time, and even though you come from various different educational backgrounds, you're still interested. You're still just the fact that you're tuning into this orientation means that you really have that, you know, there is something that's bothering you or something that you really want to change that has brought you towards entrepreneurship. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's go next. So market research and customer understanding. So this, जब भी आप marketing पढ़ते हो, so that is the first thing that they tell you that what does the consumer want or need? That is the first thing. You can't sell a product or a service unless you understand who you're selling it to. You need to identify that, okay, who is the person that I'm selling it to? What is it that this customer needs? So, market research is the first and perhaps the most important step because that sets the uh, ground and the platform for everything else that comes next. अगर आपका पहला step नहीं ठीक होता तो आपकी आगे कुछ भी नहीं ठीक होता. So it's really, really important that you get this right. And how do you get this right is what you will be learning in this workshop. How do you what are the different methods that you can use to conduct market research? What are the different ways that you can ask potential customers? What is it that they're looking for? What is it that they need? What is it that they want? Because only then will you be able to create a product or a service that they really, really want or they really, really need. And that is what will make the whole difference in the next steps of your process when you go on to development, when you go on to actually creating it, when you go on to testing it, this first step will matter the most. So this is something that I think everyone should, really, really focus on once the workshop start because it will definitely help you out. So let's go ahead. Now, branding and marketing fundamentals. So, how do you exactly build a strong brand, and what are the different strategies that you need to really market yourself? Now, I do want to, I think yeah, okay. So, I do want to ask everyone who has tuned in, what do you understand from brand? Like, what does the word brand mean? If you could please, just text on the live chat, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so Khizr said identity, which I think is, very close. Because essentially, when you are trying to build a brand, that is what you're trying to do. You want to create that image and create that identity in people's minds that, okay, this is what this company offers or this is what they stand for. And you really want the brand to be immediately recognizable, whether it's by a logo, whether there are those certain colors that you need, or it's something that uh, really immediately clicks. And you know that, okay, this is what this logo or this name or these colors stand for. So you uh, associate it immediately. So yeah, I think you all have got, some idea of what a brand is. So that's great. Okay, so apart from branding, so you will be learning about different branding strategies and how you can really build a brand and what goes behind building a brand, because it's not just that simple. You can't just make a logo and expect everyone to recognize it like that. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. There's a lot of thought that goes into even choosing those colors and then really making that uh, mark on people's minds. So you will be learning कि आप किस तरीके से एक strong brand बनाते हो, and then about digital marketing strategy, because that is what it is now. Everything's digital. You don't see, or at least, I mean, I think all of you over here, you are Gen Z, and we usually don't watch TV. We don't really see a lot of advertisements on TV because हम देख ही नहीं रहे होते कि TV पे क्या चल रहा है, cable पे क्या चल रहा है. It's all on social media, what's on Instagram, what's on different social media platforms, what's on websites. So how do you do that? How do you create those strategies to make sure that there's a uniform message that's being sent to the audience? So you will learn all of that in this workshop. Okay, so next we have got finance for entrepreneurs. So now this step is, of course, very important. You can't really build a company, build a startup unless you have got some backing for it, unless you have understood that, okay, these are the costs that will go into making this product or this service. And then you need to have an idea that, okay, what can I sell this for? Because obviously, if you're creating a product or a service, if you're starting a startup, you do want to generate a revenue, you want to earn a profit. How do you do that? How do you make sure that aapki pricing is something that people will actually want to buy? So all that, and then before that is, where do you get the funds from? Where do you raise the capital to really even start your um, entrepreneurship journey? How do you make the budgets? How do you allocate those budgets properly into um, the different areas of product development, or whether if you have got people on the team, how do you pay them accordingly? So these are all the things that you will be learning in this workshop. And as I gave the overview of the instructor before as well, he's got extensive experience. So you will learn the basics from scratch. And I think that this will be a great building block, especially because I know a lot of people in this meeting right now, you're all from different backgrounds. Most of you are from health sciences. There were a lot of doctors of pharmacies, I think, and there was one from physical therapy. So this will be pretty new for you all, but I think it would be really great that you get to learn this in this couple of workshops, because it's a really important step if you want to build your own startup. There were some people who are doing BBA, so I think they will be more familiar with these ideas. But for those who aren't, this is a great way for you to learn. Okay, so next, let's talk about building and managing a team. So over here, you will be discussing leadership, team roles, and conflict resolution. Um, I do want to ask everyone, what do you understand? What does leadership mean? And also, while you go on to type, do let me know, how would you resolve a conflict that occurs um, among your team members? Okay, so we've got a few answers coming in. Yeah, so leadership is basically you having, those qualities that are required to make sure that you're able to carry a team forward, that you're able to make sure that the team is able to follow you. They understand where you're coming from. You're able to put your point across and make sure that everyone is on the same page. They know what their roles are. And good leadership can makes a huge difference because it sets the stone for the rest of the team. It sets the it sets the pathway for everyone else to follow. So they know what they have to do. They know what role role they have, and they know what the target is and where they have to go. Because what you also need in a leader is for them to be a good motivator and for them to set a good example. So what happens as a leaders are very influential people. And whatever they do and however they present themselves or however they carry themselves, it impacts their team as well. So how to go about it? How do you make sure that you are a good leader and you can take your team forward in a good way? That is something that you will learn over here. You will learn how do you build a team that has the skill sets that you need. How do you build a team that's relevant, that is going to benefit you? All of that will be over here. And another question I asked was about conflict resolution. So, yeah, people have mentioned that you will need good communication for that. And you will, yeah, of course, leaders will also be resolving conflicts and making sure that you are all on the right page, that you are all on the right track, that you have got the right vision, you've got the right vision, you've got the right mission in hand. So, yes, and definitely communication is essential to resolve conflict, because you need to understand that where are these differences coming from, and Hi everyone. So I got disconnected for a bit. I hope that I am now audible to everyone and that you are able to share the screen. Okay, so I am audible now. I'm sorry guys. I do not know why it got disconnected, but we're back. So the last workshop will be how you pitch your business idea. How do you create that winning pitch to make sure that investors are interested, they want to invest, they love your idea, that they love you, and they want to be on board and make your idea really happen. So that's what the final workshop will be about. And now we will be moving towards the final project. Okay, so now this is after all the workshops, and this is what you will be evaluated on, what your performance will be evaluated upon. So I will share a bit more detail on what you will be expected to do. So you will be divided into groups of either 4 or 6 people, and everything that you have learned in those workshops will really come to play over here. So it will matter a lot that whatever you're learning in these workshops, you really try to remember it, you try to retain that, and because you will be using that, all of that knowledge for your main project. Now, I will share a little bit more of what will be expected of you. So, what you have to do essentially is that you create a business idea. You come up with a business idea and you start with how you can go about it. How, if it were, a real business you were starting, how would you go about it? What are the different things that you would be looking for? How will you brainstorm it? How will you create that service or product? And so what you will do is you will be given different roles. So there will be a marketing head, there will be a finance head, and there are various different roles like that. Because अभी जब हम बात कर रहे थे of the different workshops, we talked about marketing and branding, we talked about finance, we talked about pitching that eventually. So all of that is going to come together over here, and you will be pitching your business idea to a panel of judges at the end. So the goal of your project will be that you develop a business model, that you create a marketing plan to go with it, and that you have a financial strategy, and then you will prepare your pitch to convince the panel in front of you. So your final deliverable will be a complete business presentation about what you want to do or what you hope to do. Now, while we're talking, about business ideas and about your project, I would really like if you guys could um, tell me in the chat what are the business ideas that you have, or what is a kind of business that you would really love to do. So if you could please share that in the chat, I would really like to know. Okay, so Iman Faisal mentioned that she would like to have a business about graphic designing, which I think is great because it's something that um, all sorts of business need. And for you to be able to offer that as a service, that's really good. So if you've got any more answers, I would really like to know what everyone wants to do. What is something that you aspire to do? So I don't see any more answers for now, but you can continue dropping that in the chat, and I will come back to you. But I will move to discuss a little bit about project. So there are actually three types of projects. So the first one is the Hi everyone, I got disconnected once again. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm back now. Can someone confirm if you are able to hear me? Okay, so we have a few more answers as well. Amal mentioned that you want to start an NGO sort of a thing to help the education department. I think that's really good because I think all of us here in Pakistan, we know the state that the education sector is in. And to be able to improve that, to really want to do something for that cause, I think it's a really noble idea. And I'm glad that um, young people, this generation, we understand that and want to really make a change. I think that's really good. Okay, so I was now going to discuss how you will be evaluated on the project. So the first thing is that how creative you are in your pitch. So your creativity, it's very important because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, that is one thing that you will definitely need. The second is feasibility, whether you being able to pull off that business idea is actually something that's doable or not. Then you will be uh, evaluated upon whether you have applied the bootcamp learnings appropriately or not. So, which is why I said that everything you learn in each of the workshops is very important because all of that will be used in the final project. So it's important that you tune in for all the workshops. If you have got any questions, you ask your instructor so that they can clear it out for you. I would also recommend making notes. I know a lot of times we get lazy. We're like slides mil jayenge, uh, we can just watch the recording later or something. But trust me, it's always better that you write side by side, and whatever the instructor is explaining, you write that down because सिर्फ जो slide पे लिखा होता है that's sometimes not enough. You really want that context. So I would really recommend that all of you make your notes efficiently throughout the workshops because it will really help you out in your final project. So the next thing that you will be evaluated upon is your presentation skills and your communication. So we did talk about communication quite a bit. We talked about how important it is and how we can get better at it. And this is something that you will be learning in your workshop. So your final presentation will matter a lot. How you communicate in that will matter a lot. So that's just some of the things that I would want you all to be careful about as your workshops start. And then, of course, the final thing is team collaboration. Because it's a team project, we also will be talking about building and managing your teams in the workshop. So for any group project to be successful, it's important that all the team members are on the same page, that they have that chemistry among themselves, that they have that understanding, that they're able to create a project or a final deliverable that's actually, something that's um, really good, something that we could even potentially implement. So this is your chance where you will be able to present your pitch to your panel who will be people who have been in the industry for a while. So all these experts looking at your final project. It's a great chance for you to showcase everything that you've learned, all the skills that you have developed over time. If you have any questions about the project or about the evaluation, you can ask in the chat. I will try my best to clarify it. And of course, as you progress further in your workshops and we actually get to the project, आपकी चीजें और भी clear होती जाएंगी. So let's talk a little bit about perks and rewards. So first thing is that you're getting personalized mentorship. You have all of these industry experts with you. They are going to be training you. They will be there for you to ask questions from, to get any clarity on anything you're confused about, for you to ask them about your own personal ventures. Then you will be able to network with a lot of different people. Abhi, there's around 10 people in the meeting, and all of you will get the chance to talk to each other, to learn more about each other, to create those connections that will help you take your career forward. You will be getting certificates of completion at the end of the program. The best teams will get exclusive prizes, and you will have access to ebooks and different learning resources to help you uh, along on your entrepreneurial journey. So do let me know, whoever, who, how many of you are like really excited for this. Maybe like give me a rating out of 10 of how excited you are for the workshops to start. So what's next? Now, of course, what's next is your workshop. It's everything that is to come. It's you guys getting the chance to network. It's you guys getting to learn from all these professionals, um, for you to really kickstart your careers and your entrepreneurial journey. And I think this is a really exciting opportunity, and I'm glad that everyone tuned in for this. And I hope that this orientation was, somewhat helpful in you getting some clarity on what you will have to do, what is expected, what are the things you can look forward to. I will be taking questions now. So if you have any questions about if there's any confusion about everything that I've spoken about, if there's something you want to know more about, you can ask in the chat. If there's something you'd like to know about me, you can ask that as well, about the skill hive in general, anything that you're interested in learning about. Please drop that into the chat. We have got another 5-10 minutes. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have, and then we will be ending the session. So go ahead. So Fatma said that she's really excited. I'm glad that you are, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being a part of this. Does anyone else have any thoughts to share or any questions to ask? You can go ahead. So Iman has asked, what is the best way to emphasize your marketing skills on a platform that is still progressing? So I'm assuming that you mean that it's a new platform, it's something that's still developing. If you could maybe clarify that question a little bit for me so that I can answer appropriately. Yeah, Amal, so you will have to think of a business idea on your own. So because we talked about brainstorming different ideas, we talked about um, what it takes, what goes into coming up with a new idea. So yeah, you will have to develop it yourself. You will be brainstorming with the group that is assigned to you, and then you will come up with something that you think you can take forward and really turn into a business model. Because that is where the creativity part comes in. How creative can you be with your business idea? So I think that this will give you like a really good opportunity to really think what you want to do yourself as well. Yeah. So Iman, if you want to emphasize your marketing skills, so if you're talking about like your own personal skills, if you want to sort of improve them, and make them better on a platform that is relatively new, I think that is perhaps a really good way to start, because if you're at a new platform, so you're learning yourself as well. The platform is learning and growing as well, and you get to grow with them. So I would say the best way is that if you've got a team of people, you collaborate with them, you talk to them, you discuss what are the new ideas, and if there's something new you want to try, or if you've got something new, if you've seen something new, perhaps because social media, we continuously scrolling, we're seeing different marketing strategies. So I think the best way for you to go about it is for you to stay aware. You need to know, okay, what is in trend, because marketing may you have to make sure that you make that mark on people. You have to stay relevant, so which means that you have to be on top of what is working in the industry right now, what is that people are looking for at the moment. So being aware is the best way to go about it, I would say. um okay, Aisha Iqbal has asked, will it be a group project or an individual project? I did mention before, but we kept getting disconnected. So yeah, it is a group project. There will be around 4 to 6 people in it. So I'm sorry if there's like a lot of background noise over here. Okay, so yeah, it is a group project. You will be divided into groups of 4 to 6 people, and you will be evaluated based on your team efforts as well. So it's really important that we learn to collaborate with one another. Okay, so Fatma Asher has asked, when will the workshops start? So they will be starting on the 3rd of February. You're welcome, Iman. Does anyone else have any questions or anything you would like to know? If we don't, then we can end the orientation session over here. I really hope it was helpful for you all and it put a little bit more clarity on what you will be doing during this boot camp. Okay, so I don't think there are any more questions. So yeah, I'm really excited too, Aisha. I'm glad that you are, and I'm glad that you all joined in for this orientation. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any more questions, Badme, you can always ask on the group that you're added to, and someone from the management will definitely answer. So thank you for joining in, and we will be ending it over here. It was great talking to you all. It was great seeing how excited you all are for this um, venture, because you basically make it all possible. So thank you all for joining in. We will be ending it over here. Bye bye.